Ever wondered what gas fees in Ethereum are and why they are so important? Let's dive right in. Ethereum, one of the largest and most popular blockchain platforms, uses something called gas fees. Now don't let the term confuse you. We're not talking about the stuff that fuels your car, but rather the computational energy required to process and validate transactions on the Ethereum blockchain. Think of it this way. Every time you make a transaction, you're asking the network to do some work for you. And just like any work, it needs to be compensated. That's where gas fees come in. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that these fees are not fixed. They can fluctuate based on network demand. So during times of high activity, you might find yourself paying more than you'd like. Understanding Ethereum gas fees is the first step to mastering the world of blockchain transactions. What determines the cost of these gas fees? How can they vary so much, you might ask? Well, the cost of gas fees is affected by a couple of key factors: network congestion and transaction complexity. Let's break it down. Firstly, network congestion. Think of it like a busy highway during rush hour. When many people are trying to send transactions at the same time, the Ethereum network becomes congested. This high demand leads to higher gas fees because people are willing to pay more to get their transactions processed faster. Secondly, transaction complexity. A simple transaction like sending Ether requires less computational work than a complex one, like interacting with a smart contract. So, the more complex your transaction, the more gas it requires and the higher the fee. Additionally, the concept of gas price and gas limit plays a significant role. The gas price is the amount you're willing to pay per unit of gas, and the gas limit is the maximum amount of gas you're willing to use for your transaction. Hence, the total gas fee is the product of the two. So the gas fee you pay is directly influenced by the network demand and the complexity of your transaction. Why should you care about high gas fees? What's the big deal? Well, high gas fees can have a significant impact, especially on small transactions. Let's say you want to send a small amount of Ether to a friend. If the gas price is too high, this transaction can become uneconomical. It's like paying more for the shipping than the cost of the product itself. Not very appealing, right? Moreover, gas fees play an essential role in prioritizing transactions within the Ethereum network. Transactions with higher gas prices are more likely to be processed faster by miners. This could potentially create a bidding war where users outbid each other to get their transactions processed faster. It's a bit like a rush hour traffic jam where everyone wants to get to their destination first. However, it's not all doom and gloom. High gas fees can be a barrier to using the Ethereum network, but don't worry, there are ways to reduce them. So, you want to reduce your Ethereum gas fees? There are several strategies you can employ. Firstly, understanding and selecting an appropriate gas price is crucial. Ethereum gas prices are not fixed. They fluctuate based on network demand. When the network is less congested, gas prices tend to be lower. You can leverage Ethereum gas price prediction tools, which provide real-time data on the current gas prices and suggest an optimal price for your transaction. Next, consider using gas-efficient smart contracts. Smart contracts are pieces of code that automate transactions on the Ethereum network. However, the more complex the contract, the more gas it consumes. By optimizing your smart contracts, you can significantly reduce the gas fees. This could mean using less complex functions, eliminating unnecessary computations, or even breaking down a large contract into smaller ones. Timing your transactions can also help reduce gas costs. Just like rush hour traffic, the Ethereum network can get congested during certain times of the day. If your transaction isn't time-sensitive, you might want to consider executing it during off-peak hours when gas prices are typically lower. Another effective strategy is to utilize Layer 2 solutions. Layer 2 solutions are technologies that increase the capacity of the Ethereum network, allowing it to process more transactions per second. By processing transactions off the main Ethereum chain, Layer 2 solutions can help you avoid high gas fees. Finally, other scalability solutions like sharding and rollups can also contribute to lower gas fees. Sharding divides the Ethereum network into smaller pieces, or shards, each capable of processing its own transactions and smart contracts. Rollups, on the other hand, bundle multiple transactions into a single one, reducing the amount of data that needs to be stored on the blockchain. With knowledge and strategy, you can navigate Ethereum gas fees and make the most of your blockchain transactions.